Hey guys, Boyd's Restoration here today with 2012 Chevy Tahoe. It's got the 5.3 fuel flex in it. The customer states that it has a noise while the engine is running. The customer states that they think it is belt related, so we're going to check it out. Alrighty, so let's first of all get the engine cranked up and see what we got going on. I can already hear it. Sounds like a grinding noise. Alrighty, so not a very pleasant noise. I'm gonna put my mechanic stethoscope on it and see what we can figure out. Alrighty, guys. So when diagnosing a noise like this, when you hear a grinding noise, most of the time it is going to be belt related. Um, so I have this tool. It is called a mechanic stethoscope. And I'll show you how to use it to find where that noise is coming from. I got this mechanic stethoscope from Harbor Freight for I think about like $15, and it is one of my favorite tools for finding noises, especially for finding belt related noises. Alrighty, so I got my mechanic stethoscope. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these in my ears and touch around with this rod to see if I can figure out where this noise is coming from. I'm gonna put my end of my stethoscope on obviously things that aren't moving. Usually I like to test the pulleys, pretty much, the pulleys, alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor, tensioner pulleys, all that jazz, water pump sometimes, see if I can figure out where that noise is coming from. So I'm going to do that right now. Alrighty. So after doing that, I touched around all the moving parts. What I found was the belt tensioner pulley, which is right here underneath this intake, is actually what is making the noise. And with this stethoscope, it's pretty easy to tell where that noise is coming from because it will be very loud in your ears. So I'm going to go to O'Reilly's, pick up a new tensioner, and I'll probably grab a belt. Usually I recommend to the customer to grab a belt since I'm going to go ahead and pull it off, so might as well. So this is what is making noise, this tensioner pulley right here. To get the belt off to where you can replace this, all you have to do is throw a 15mm socket. You don't have to have this long of an extension, but it does make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to push this down so you can see it move. You can see the belt getting loose. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Forgot to mention that it is important to really get a good look at where this serpentine belt is going before you replace it. That way you don't have any questions about where this belt goes. As you can see, it goes around this pulley, around that pulley, up to the alternator, down to the power steering pump, all the way around the power steering pump, around the water pump, and then around the harmonic balancer and back up to this pulley. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and then we're going to get cracking on this belt tensioner. Sometimes it's snaked up in there. And let's check out, see how this belt is looking. Alright, so we don't see any cracks. This belt looks pretty good. It wasn't squealing or anything. Usually if you have a squealing belt, most of the time the belt just needs to be replaced. Sometimes the tensioner needs to be replaced as well, but this time just the tensioner really needs to be replaced. But usually, you know, since I already have it off, I recommend just going ahead and replacing that. Alright, so the tensioners on these 5.3s are pretty simple. It's just 2 bolts, one right there, one right there. They're 15 millimeter, same as this one right here, which is what you use to detension the belt. And I'm going to go ahead and loosen those bolts and pull that tensioner out. Just going to use my Milwaukee electric ratchet and loosen these. Pull that out. So that's somewhere where you won't forget it. Now for the other one. Pretty simple. So this is what the tensioner looks like. Like I said, just a bolt right there, bolt right there. You don't need to undo this bolt. This is the bolt to tension and detension the belt. I'm going to spin this for you so you can hear the noise that it's making, and it's definitely gone bad. I think you should have been able to hear that. I'm going to go grab the new pulley and show you what the difference sounds like. Alrighty, so here's the new one. They look a little different. Obviously the bolt holes still line up. This one spins a lot smoother than this one. You can't even hear it spinning. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back on there, and then eventually put the belt back on. I went ahead and just put the bolts in here because it makes it a little bit easier. I like to, you know, give it a good couple turns with my fingers before I put my ratchet on there, just so I know that I'm not gonna strip it out or cross thread the bolt. There it is, it's already back in there. So the belt tensioner bolts call for 37 foot-pounds. I am not at my shop right now, and I did not bring a torque wrench, but I do have a pretty long, it's about, I'd say 2-foot ratchet. So I'm just gonna, you know, snug them down, make sure I'm not going too hard, because I got a lot of leverage with this ratchet. Otherwise I would be torquing it down. Before I put the new belt on, I just like to double check, make sure that this belt looks like it's the right size, and it does. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that back on. Alrighty, let's get this new belt on here. I usually kind of like to start from the bottom. keep slow tension as I go. Make sure everything's somewhat on there. We can go back and make it perfect as needed. Sometimes it's easier to, some of these pulleys are flat. They don't have the, what I'd probably call the ribs in them. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on the tensioner pulley up around alternator, just so I can just slide it on and not have to worry about spotting those ribs to get it on there. And then just go around and make sure all your belt are fitted on and in the correct position. I like to feel around so the belt's off a tooth on the harmonic balancer. So I'm just going to loosen it, pop it back on there, and then tighten it back up. So the alternator is good, power steering pump's good, and yeah, everything looks to be back where it needs to be. All right, let's crank it up and see if the noise is gone. And with the engine running, the noise is gone. So that means that the tensioner was in fact the culprit. So we did good diagnosing and did a good fix. These are the parts I used. It's a Murray Serpentine belt and a Murray belt tensioner. I got them from O'Reilly's for a great price. The only noticeable difference, other than what I showed y'all, is there is a 16mm bolt head versus a 15 to tension and detension. Thank you guys for watching. If this video was helpful, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Happy 2026.